Good evening. Welcome back to Pathologic. I guess this is happening now. We're on day 8, technically. It's 1:30 in the morning. But we have made it to day 8. We're quite hungry. And I believe we have a play to go see. We've had our first day with the Inquisitor. That didn't go great. And Ava is gone. So... yeah, that's where we are. The play is the thing. So I'm gonna check my quest log and letters and get about the day. Quest log, empty. Good so far. I've got an evening letter from the Inquisitor instead of the powers that be. Yes, they've played a cruel joke on us. You know, Denkovsky, there are costs involved in being who we are. People like us, ingenious to an extent of being dangerous. They always put on the front line. They set us goals which are as pointless as they are impossible to achieve. In a desperate bid that we figure out how to deal with them. We're a low-value card which may be of use if it wins and worth no regret if it is beaten. Having been made aware of this attitude, we have no choice but to avenge it. I detest hypocrisy, as do you, I believe. Let us make the hypocrites regret their sanctimony. Their smug self-assurance is based on their deluded belief that we will not be able to carry out their orders. Did they advise you to deal with the plague in a manner your conscience would suggest? Do that. Have no fear. I've been told to eradicate the disease at any cost, and as elegantly as possible. This is what they're going to get. We'll discuss the matter tomorrow, however. This was my desperation speaking. Burn the letter. Aglaia. Yeah, I don't trust Aglaia. I don't like Aglaia. What is your name? Ian. Ian is a girl that Andre Stamatin sent to me to make sure I have everything I need. Alright, it's the middle of the night, so I'm expecting to get attacked by muggers and such. We're gonna make our way over to the theater. We are not exhausted at the moment. We are pretty hungry, though. And I don't really have food. Maybe we'll run into some townsguards I can trade with. I picked up Twirine recently. But I know they will take that. Either that or we might just be hungry for a little bit. Right, can't go over the wall this way, we go around. I'm looking forward to this play telling me how badly I screwed up by helping Aglaia. Hit a quick save. We're gonna end up going through plague districts and things. Fresh meat. It's pricey though. And he doesn't want the Twirine I have. I thought for sure he would. He actually doesn't want anything from me. Seems like this district isn't infected anymore, which makes this part easier. That's a problem. Maybe we just plan to take this guy out. The rats are an issue. I need ways to handle multiple things happening at once here. Yo, he had all kinds of stuff. That was a lot of money. It was very profitable to take him out.
I know how celestial bodies work. I know the logic of numbers.
Yes, Mom.
Solid bodies drown in water. It's a law. Life breaks into particles and is reborn again. It is a law.
Do you see now how many mysteries the Earth holds? The more terrifying the mystery, the deeper it lies, and the fewer wells can reach them.
You can trick anyone but me, the emissary of the powers that be. I know how this world had been built. I know how its life works. I know the laws it operates under. It's supposed to be very simple and proportional.
True, Mom. That's what it's supposed to be.
True, Ma'am. That is what it's supposed to be.
So let it be. It's not the end of the world. It's just an epidemic. It's gone out of proportion. The law will prevail. I'll restore the balance. Not all is lost. I know where the root of this evil lies.
The feminine voice was Aglaya.
We have sufficient strength to support the misfortunes of others.
Don't have a lot of rifle ammo, so I don't feel comfortable going to hunting whatever arsonists I can find. He had one thing of crackers is what he had on him for food. Won't do much to sate my hunger, but it's something. That's an infected district. Oh god. I was gonna say that's gonna... I have to go through that again. Alright, we go through the play again. I came over from a neighboring district. I wasn't in there. I believe Aglaia believes she knows the root cause of the town's problems. But I don't know that she'll have an answer that satisfies me. I gotta take this guy out again. Rat is going to decide to be in my way. No crackers this time. Well, you know, my fault.
I know how celestial bodies work. I know the logic of numbers.
Yes, Mom.
Solid bodies drown in water. It's a law. Life breaks into particles and is reborn again. It is a law.
Do you see now how many mysteries the Earth holds? The more terrifying the mystery, the deeper it lies, and the fewer wells can reach them.
You can trick anyone but me, the emissary of the powers that be. I know how this world had been built. I know how its life works. I know the laws it operates under. It's supposed to be very simple and proportional.
True, Mom. That's what it's supposed to be.
True, Mom. That is what it's supposed to be.
So let it be. It's not the end of the world. It's just an epidemic. It's gone out of proportion. The law will prevail. I'll restore the balance. Not all is lost. I know where the root of this evil lies.
Aglaia seems principally concerned with the laws of nature and enforcing those laws. But what I can't quite parse is whether she is enthusiastic about that enforcement. Like, the implication is that is her job from the powers that be, but she doesn't seem to hold the powers that be in super high regard. Like, she feels like the powers that be are messing with her the same way that they are messing with me, which seems fair. So what I don't know is does she care about enforcing the laws of nature of her own accord, or is it only because of the powers that be that she cares at all? The implication on who is violating the laws of nature is definitely the Stomatans and the Canes. More wild rumors spreading about the plague for no reason. Yeah, the implication is that Peter Stomat, the Canes, and the Polyhedron in particular all violate the laws of nature, the laws of gravity. I was gonna say, do none of you have anything? It's worth one to you. You don't want anything else. Worth 300. I get one piece of dried meat. That's what I've got right now. Ugh. I really like the reading you have there, that the theater breaks the laws of nature. That feels correct somehow. But I also hate the implication of that because Mark is one of my bound. But you know, so's Ava, so who knows what the rules are. There's a clothing store up here, right? Yes. Is there... That was a... This is my map of the town. When I zoom out... That's the clothing store. This is a pharmacy. There are no other shops in this district. Yeah, it is a cow. It kinda maps to the town. Sort of. Like, here's the abattoir. The Canes. Stillwater. Warehouse district. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's going to talk to me for several hours. I have enough food to last me until actual waking time, I suppose. I agree, Anariste, that it is interesting. Okay. Still no new letters. Still no quests, which is fine. Basically a half hour till things actually start. Let's see if we can collect some stuff. I'm going to plan to head towards Young Vlad right now because he can sell me, oh god. He can sell me a map of the town that will include the infected districts. Whoa. The rat just got me? You bastard. I'm unable to outrun rats for a week straight. This one just gets me? After dodging a blood angel? You bastard. Yep. Extremely salty runbacks. Yeah, how's that? Huh? Here's an infected district. Person's gonna get themselves beat to death. Beaten to death and then mugged. I feel like I'm getting all right with my knife. Like, I probably shouldn't be too proud of my ability to knife rats to death, but you know. Victories are hard to come by, so we're taking what we can. This is walled off. That's no good. You're open? What are these? Gamma tablets. New generation immunity booster. I feel like I should sell my alpha tablets. I'm just holding on to them. They're taking up inventory space and I'm not using them. It's not Twyrene I have, it's Twyrene extract. Plus I have like 1,200 coins worth of alpha tablet, and that sounds like a good sell. Can I get around, please? No? What's happening? Come on. Okay, we're good. Gamer. I want to get here. This is where I'm actually going. Although this will run us by Rubens, so I guess we'll see how he's doing. Morning of the 8th day has come. It all ends in less than 5 days. The army arrives tomorrow. Death toll almost 3,000. At the end of which the Bachelor can prove once again that the Earth is never up to any good. Interesting. Yesterday when I talked to him about Ruben, he said it was someone else's fault, but now he's accusing me of being negligent with Ruben. I can give him a schmouter. The truth is, I don't know if I should or not. Because, like, what if he gets sick again later? Well, I haven't shared anything yet, so don't give me too much credit. That option is there. We'll see if I need to talk to Ruben today. If I need to talk to Ruben, then I need to give up a schmouter. There's a letter. Vlad the Younger. Oh, well, hey, I'm already headed that way. Take this news as a matter of urgency and importance, Bachelor. Some inconceivable filth appears to be seeping from within the termitary. Your good name and even your academic reputation may come under fire because of it. Plan to visit that house of woe, as far as I know. Please oblige me with a little chat beforehand. If I don't need to talk to him, he might survive another day. I don't actually know. But since cures are so hard to come by, I need to take that chance.
Interest speaks all sorts of tongues and plays all kinds of characters, even that of disinterest.
Right, you undoubtedly have a lot of questions in mind, but they'll have to wait except for one, the most pressing, and dare I say, painful concern. We've lost enough time as it is. The crud's not going to wait, is it? In your visit to the termitary, all in all, there's no point in putting it off. What does this have to do with my visit to the termitary? I'll have you know that a certain informer of mine, a trustworthy source despite being a worm, has told me that there's a flow of fake panacea coming out of the termitary. I'll be honest with you, this is encroaching upon my interests, so I'm turning to you for help. This concerns you as well, after all. Okay, so someone is selling fake cures for the plague out of the termitary. This concerns me how. Truth is, the slime balls are backing themselves up with, yes, your own good name. They claim that the recipe is yours, and even provide some proof of authorship. I don't know what exactly that is, but really, your name is actually proof enough for the general crowd. They're rather naive. The heart incident has already become common knowledge, in certain circles at least. I don't think he's talking about Schmouters. If they're using my name to claim it as my recipe and it's connected to Willow's heart, they're selling ground up human organs. Or at the very least, blood. I like that I can throw Barak under the bus, even though I'm not going to do that. What does that have to do with anything? The heart was required to extract a microbial culture sample. Well, in any case, they're procuring live hearts, of which there is no shortage in the termitary now, and preparing the potions right in front of their buyers. You can imagine the resulting product. So you're saying they set up shop at the termitary. My informer said that it's one of the rooms in the long block. He hasn't seen it himself. I'll find the lowlives, and then I'll return to you, and we're going to have a long and unpleasant conversation. This is a side quest. The Panacea Black Market, where they are harvesting human organs in front of buyers and saying, I said to do it this way, is a side quest. You know what? Let's hard save. I mean, if Barak knows anything about us, he would know we would not approve of this. This is not our method. Oh, should we talk to Big Vlad? It's kind of on the way. I'm gonna stop by Big Vlad's. See if he has anything to say about the activities in his termitary. I agree, F Big Vlad. Is this the door? I didn't think so. Oh god. Please just go away. I want to shop. Food. I'll take the dried meat for sure. You know what? Milk's not great, but I need it right now. But yes, F Big Vlad for sure, but it's his termitary. He might have useful info for me.
brought here by Glock? The national hero? Rubbish. That doesn't make sense.
Okay, so Vlad, in his voiceover, seems to support the hero block and doesn't like his soldiers, but otherwise has nothing for me. Not really surprised, but I was hopeful, which is an obvious mistake. I didn't talk to Vlad the Younger a second time so that I could actually buy a map from him. Oops. I'm feeling very acutely that even going to all of the shops I can is not very useful at the moment. They just actually don't have enough for sale. I don't have a reason to talk to Anna, but I'm running by, so just double check here.
I don't want to undress. What if there's something scary on my skin?
Let's get the side door over here. God, it's so expensive, but we'll take it. 1,500 for a fresh fish. Alright, that should cover my food for most of the day now. How do I actually get to this thing? Back around this way? Or up through here? Well, through here is through a plague district. But it'll be faster if I can get there. Ooh, that was close. We did not get infected. That one still didn't get me. My boots just saved me from that rat. Whoa, whoa, let's go, keep walking. Still not infected. Okay. Where's my way into this thing? Which feels weird to ask, because I've definitely been in there, or like, by the entrance at least. I'm apparently struggling now. What you doing? Everything okay? This is the ring of Suk, the gulp of blood. Your service to Suk is only as sedulous as the amount of blood you soak the soil with. It is a bare-handed melee fight. You may sink your teeth into them. Fight? One child of Bodo stands against another. A fight to the death. No mercy. No one leaves the circle until the fight is over. The winner gets the blood of the loser. Suk gets the moisture. Bodo gets the body and bones, now as ever. I don't have a need for blood. Thank you, Anarasti. I don't want to insult him here. A fist fight for blood sounds like a terrible trade. But I am full health right now. And if for some reason I needed to, I'd like to leave the option open. It's not intended for you, or do you also want to fight? I mean, I did save. A vial of his blood is your reward. You are a winner, even though you've spilled so little on the ground. Suk remains hungry. I got through that without getting hit. I did just kill a man with my bare hands. It was a cultural ritual. That feels very weird, but I could do it again if I wanted. The item description is suggesting that it's a useful resource that other people will trade for, because getting blood and organs is seriously taboo. I don't think I'm slowly getting accepted by that, but it feels like it's such a rare resource. I feel like I just need to hold on to that. There we go. Here's my way into the Turnitary. These guys don't talk to me. Well, it kind of scared me. I just got jump scared by that worm. Well, it's not clean. Whoop. My map is not helpful. Hey! Artemi, that wasn't hard. He has teardrop tattoos.
I need a good sleep today.
You shouldn't have come, Oinon. It's dangerous here. You're not used to dealing with them. Brewers of fake panacea are holed up somewhere here in the Termitator. Do you know anything about that? What? Someone is making fake panacea in here? But this is... yeah, inconceivable villainy. Have you noticed anything suspicious? Hold on a second. Someone dong on the second floor asked for corpses of the freshly dead. They seem to be looking for someone they knew. I took no notice back then. Apart from that, newcomer tramps went around looking for some room along that wall across the entrance. Dangled money. Which room? On the second floor as well? Damned if I know. I had a short way with them. Is that them under the sheet? Okay. Second floor.
Changeling spoke to the foreman. Could it be that he had accepted her as one of his kind?
What are you doing here, Barak? I went to the abattoir and came back with something of value. Listen to me, Oinon. If my hope proves to be true, we'll have a serum by tomorrow. That's some news. So what was that thing you came back with? Blood. Blood again. I'm not ready to say where I got it, but it may very well be what Stock worked on, only better. It's still alive. Looks as if it has... you know... what, antibodies? Yes, antibodies. You already know what living bacteria look like, as well as dead ones. Stock, by which he means Reuben, told me about all that. I think it won't be too hard for you to establish what this blood does to the infection. So you want me to examine this blood under a microscope? Just that. Like, we can question him about where he's getting his blood, but I do not care. If you study this blood, Oinon, tomorrow I'll hand you a dose of functional panacea, and if you prove this is the blood we need, might be I hand the panacea to you today. I trust your word. Is this convincing enough to you? Where do I find... God, what a horrific response this is. This is not quite true, but close to true. This is definitely not true. But even if all of this was 100% correct, we would still want panacea to cure those who are sick. Where do I find you? I'll be around here. Still have a hell of a lot to do. If there's trouble, I'll let you know. And we should meet in that basement under the corpulent workshop. It is another side quest. Artemi has given me some blood to check out to see if it has antibodies. And if it does, he has made a cure for the plague. Screaming seems extremely unnerving. These must be my boys. Peace to you, Oinon. Peace to you. Live and let live, so say the wise. Don't try to sweet talk me, Morlock. Okay. Here you are, you can of worms. So can I place an order? You're more than welcome. We're not asking much, merely 30,000. But for you, Oinon, it's free. Dead gruel, never better. All the rot comes out. All the evil hexes come off. Oh yes, my good man. So you're using my method, is that it? Peddling your filth under my name, you scum? Oinon, have mercy, let us be. We won't sell anything anymore. We won't cook the gruel. You let us live. You don't turn us into the mother. We'll tell you an interesting something then. You'll be pleased. Oh, Narsti, I don't know who Barak's blood sample would come from. Like, we don't know enough about this part of the city. I mean, maybe it's worm blood. Maybe it's from the steppe creature that I didn't shoot the evil bowling pin. Okay, so, the worms here, the Odong here, were taking the fresh dead, according to Barak. They weren't killing anyone. And then they were taking those dead, extracting their hearts, grinding them into a gruel, and selling it as a cure for the plague for 30,000 coin. Right now, I am holding on to 25,000, so it's a little more than all of the money I have saved up at to this point, and to earn this money, I had to kill 7 guys with knives and other similar things. The dried meat I buy is worth 310. 30,000 is not a small amount of money. This seems like a really dumb question. But what do they want the money for? Like, they're in the butcher shop. This is where the food comes from. Unless that's how tightly the Olgimskis are running this, that for the Odong to buy the meat that they're butchering and curing, it's extremely expensive. But then they just push over immediately. Like, they've already sold some. They've sold at least a handful. So between the 3 of them, they've made, what, 15,000-ish at least? If not more? No, sorry, 150,000? So are they thinking they've just made their money, and now that they're caught, they'll just stop? That's probably enough money to get them through the rest of the plague? Because what's weird is, in spite of the horrific things they've said they've done already, I believe them when they say that they just won't do anymore right now. Like, I haven't spent a lot of time with the Odong, but they've always been really straightforward with me. Their culture and rituals and histories don't make any sense, but they're honest. Like the one I just talked to outside. You fist fight to the death in this ring, we give you some of the guy's blood. Well, that's exactly what happened. Like, they don't have a reason to lie because the rituals they have are already horrific. And they're just honest about those. They feel no shame about it. Man, kudos to that voice actor for that scream. I don't know who they mean by mother. Like, the obvious is what they say, don't turn us into the Inquisitor, but I don't know that that's who they mean. I don't know if they acknowledge her. Speak, I'm not gonna touch you, worm. We are guilty. The Boose's son is twice as guilty. We just fool around and mess about. He's buying up the real panacea. Bought it from everyone who got one from Barack. Took from everyone. Has it for himself. Shoot him, Oinon. Threaten him, rob him. Take his panacea for yourself. Thank us. Vlad did say that this was encroaching on his interests, by which he means money. So young Vlad is aware that Barack's been working on a real panacea. Barack has produced some vials of this stuff, but hasn't had a chance to properly test it. Probably has his own friends he's handed it to, but wants me to check if the antibodies are there so that he can mass produce it. And Vlad the Younger has bought up from all the people Artemy is trying to help all the real panacea and has sent me in here to shut down this operation because it devalues Vlad's stock. I might just shoot him. I might try shooting him. He's not one of my bound. Where did he get real panacea? Only Barack can make panacea. Only Barack knows the lines. Barack gave his vials to Bodo's children. Gave to the Boos. The Boos' son took it all to sell to evil people. To bloodsuckers for iron and gold. Have mercy on us, Oinon. Let us go, never again, until the earth takes us back. Fine, I'll tell the mother about this room, though. You have half an hour to get lost for good. Well, would you look at that? Vlad the Younger has entered the panacea market. Man won't let a single penny past his purse. It occurs to me that he is no better than Bad Grief. Bad Grief is straightforward with me. I like Bad Grief. I need to find out how he set up his trade. Be the worms trying to frame him for their own profiteering. Nah, I believe the worms. The Odong have always been honest with me. I have no reason to believe they're lying now. Alright, let's save and get out of this horror show. How much trouble could I have saved if, when I identified the old Gimskis as capitalists, if I had just shot them then? This is Sticky's house, right? Sticky, you okay? Sticky, you good?
I can barely stand. Am I sick?
You don't seem to be. Still no main quest. Just a little worrying right now. I have a microscope and Ruben has a microscope, but right now I can't get into Ruben's place because he is sick. I feel like people have fewer and fewer resources. I was gonna say that was too close. Barack's blood sample might be from Ruben. That makes sense. They're close. I know Ruben's been infected. But he's also been working on the vaccine, so maybe some combination of testing the vaccine on himself and his exposure to Simon's body and getting properly infected. Maybe between that and whatever Barack does to the blood. Cross this bridge. Frick, really? Just like that? Ugh. I think the rats have gotten faster. I don't have any proof of that other than I'm getting bit by them. When I didn't feel like I was getting bit by that many before. Should we just cross over this way? Maybe we just go around. about stabbing Vlad the Younger? Is that better? Is that more humane? If I use my scalpel... Like, is the shotgun too quick? Shotgun's too expensive is the reality. Yeah, see, if I use my scalpel on him, then I'm performing a surgery on the town by removing the cancer. Thanks for the bandage. Much appreciated. Well, I tried. Maybe I can report him to a Glea. Do I buy his map of the districts? I feel like we're halfway through the day at this point. I'm not going to give him money. I found the worm poison makers, but they told me that you, Master Vlad, have also dabbled in the Panacea black market. Yes, when I learned that Barak had concocted a panacea, I decided to completely seize the flow of goods. You should have informed me. Or Glea, or anybody. It's how the informers came to know. I requested it on purpose. Make no mistake, this isn't about greed. I simply thought it would be prudent to control this market. One would emerge anyway. So your concern for the bound was only a disguise? You were only ever concerned with turning a profit. It seems my old reputation will take a while to get rid of. Your knowledge is outdated, Bachelor. Things have changed. I have changed. This morning I wanted to seize the Panacea black market, so I bought up everything that Barak had made and distributed. And I gave away all that I bought. No money. Well, a little money, so that it wouldn't look like I'm offering a donation. I gave it all to the bound, the ones who needed it the most, in my opinion. Those who nearly died because of me. So I was going to say who put you in charge of that, but the fact is literally us. The old Gimskis, especially Vlad the Younger, are in charge of medicine distribution. I don't know if it's supposed to be my bound, or if he just means important people in the town. It's people who nearly died because of him. Who? I promised to keep their names secret. I'm wary of Clara, you see. She's very good at getting what she needs from people, both words and things. One of them is Mark Immortel. He's not hiding it, but his situation is different. He's running a plague house, after all. You spared at least one for yourself, I hope, haven't you? I need neither money nor protection from death now. The latter because I want to give the plague the opportunity to punish me for my acts. And the former, please spare me your mockery, is because I now aspire to something. Call me sentimental. I won't reveal it. I don't want to scare the dream away. We can go talk to Mark about the panacea he's received. I just noticed this image of the bowl. I don't know if it's civic duty or some twisted kind of honor. I don't know why he would think Mark's risk is his fault. If anything, it's Big Vlad's fault. For using the theater for the plague house, but that's also, like, because it has its own water supply, and the rest of the water supplies were damaged. So unless Vlad the Younger is confessing to being the one who broke the water supply, I don't see how this is his fault. Hey, can you confirm a story for me? Vlad the Younger sell you panacea?
The foreman has hooves for feet. Someone who saw it told me he does.
I don't think Vlad the Younger is the one that hurt the water supply. He's too tied into the town. Like, maybe it's possible, but we did have one lead, and that is Aspity knew who it was, but didn't want to tell us. So that would be suggesting that Aspity was protecting Vlad, and I don't believe that. So tell me, has Olgimsky the Younger really sold you several vials of panacea? He didn't even sell them. He gave them to me basically for free, or maybe for a token payment. You know, I never expected something like this from him. I would suspect an intricate and crafty scheme on his part, but I think I have also changed, so I believe him. I'm starting to suspect he's in league with you. He isn't. First of all, I also believe in lofty ideals. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The salvation is not about the panacea. The panacea is transitory. But recently I came to realize something that has blown me out of the water completely and made me reevaluate my worldview. So I believe in Vlad's transformation. Okay, what did you realize? That fate can be overcome. I'm so tired of all this. You know, many people consider my shows to be mere tricks, but I know that's untrue. They are daily reminders of predetermination reigning over us. It's depressing. But now I see that a miracle is not completely impossible. Please go on. What makes it possible? It's the tower. The only thing that leads the plots of my performance astray is the tower. The tower and everything that has to do with it. Those are the only things that cannot be tossed and turned and manipulated like puppets. A miracle overcomes the inevitable. The tower can do miracles. It all makes sense. So what have you done with your vial of panacea? I have an idea about what to do with it. I won't share it with you, sorry. I fear this changeling. She is a remarkable foe and a worthy opponent when it comes to miracle making. A rather nimble girl. She's gathering intelligence now, you see, and her intentions are dark. Her intuition is spot on, so I'd rather she knew less. Yes, I think he's talking about the polyhedron. He's talking about it the same way the Canes talk about it, as being made of miracles. Her intentions are dark. She is a fanatic, and like any fanatic, she is obsessed. I think she has a very unique idea of what to do with the precious vials. She may even try to destroy them. But what for? Can there be another source of miracles apart from her, that is? That would be blasphemy and sacrilege to her. People should only hope for the power emanating from her, otherwise the power will dry out. Without faith, that is. And if it does, the designs of the poor thing will fall through. And she has grand designs, believe me. Okay. This is the first piece of information anyone has given me about what Clara is up to. If we can take Mark's word, Clara is a miracle worker, but as Clara pointed out, belief is necessary for her miracles to work. That's why she gave people physical gifts when she broke into my quarantine. But people won't believe in her miracle cure if they do believe in my medicine. They will wait for a panacea or a vaccine rather than let her cure them with miracles. And so Clara needs to sabotage the medicine if her cure is going to work. Thank you for the engaging conversation. Interesting. He didn't quite say this, but apparently Mark gave the panacea to those whose lives are in most immediate peril. Lara, Yulia, and some individual who expressed a desire to remain incognito. Honestly, she didn't have to take the trouble, this individual. That is a quest done. Still no main quest. No new letters. Still no main quest. There we go, saved. Go back to the still water. Check this blood under the microscope for antibodies. Report back. I'm deeply afraid that I'm going to get, well, God, I'm going to get through this day and find out Ruben dies tomorrow, and I'll be screwed, and I'll need to replay it. And just make sure to give Ruben a schmouter. Though I'm also tempted, if Barak is true to his word and gives me a panacea today for examining this blood, maybe I just give that to Ruben. Feels like it's a product of his work anyway. Interesting, it's not letting me buy the revolver ammo. Do I just not have room? Is that what's happening? Yeah, I just don't have room. I should sell some lockpicks, since they take up weapon slots apparently. Are you useful at all yet? Nope. Okay. That's the regular blood that I got. Looks like blood. And this is the vial from Barak. Well, it's certainly different. Okay. It didn't seem to do anything to update my quest, but I have looked at it under a microscope now. Still nothing from you. We'll just trek across town back to the dormitory. It's not yet noon. I'm gonna check in with the Inquisitor. Check in with the Inquisitor and the Canes to see if they need anything.
There's little time left, and I still need to do so much.
The first part of the game is over, Bachelor Dankovsky. Its meaning has been as follows. The powers that be gave you a task with a catch, to learn the truth. They set a definitive condition. This truth has to be nice. Your honor and the fate of your laboratory were at stake. Would you care to learn something? Go ahead. The Natica has already been destroyed. There's nothing left. The place itself is in ruins. Your research is in ashes. Your papers have been burnt. Wretched Tillman made sure of it personally. And now I'm going to tell you about the law. Okay. I mean, I'm not really surprised. I kind of gave up on the Natica when we found out Simon was dead, but sure. In accordance with the law, the very logic of our world inevitably dictates the destruction of anything unnatural, anything that tries to break its own non-capitalized laws. The disease is nothing more than a tool. It is an instrument of inevitability. Yet I have sworn to destroy this enemy. Inevitability. Gruesome inevitability is our true enemy. An enemy that cannot be defeated by anyone, anywhere. The only thing you can do is get what's dear to you out of its way. Don't make enemies with inevitability. This preaching would have made more sense before the plague. Say what you will, but fighting this enemy is my duty, as it is yours. You're right, the second part of the game is beginning. Our current task is to remain true to ourselves. We'll keep the word we've given to the powers that be, both of us. Wasn't just you, mind. We'll uncover the truth, take a foreign detail out of the mechanism, and stop the rot before it devours this land. We only have to find out how it started. And so we're back to the source now. Sources. It's always about sources, isn't it? We just can't get away from them. We sorcerers, if you'll pardon the lame pun. But sorcerers do not wield magic. The source? I'll tell you where to look for the source. So you think you're well aware of what the law is, aren't you? I think I am. Well, you aren't. Let me tell you about the law. It's not a state law, but rather a natural one. When mysterious evil emerges from non-existence, it's a clear sign that this law has been violated. Disease is a retribution for trespassers. It is an attempt to restore the balance. I don't understand. This town is a minuscule cosmos, and it's the cosmos for its inhabitants. It's too remote, too distant from the rest of the world to serve as an effective part of any other mechanism. So it's a mechanism in and of itself, a mechanism that's been disrupted. There must have been a flaw, a blemish, a redundant detail, perhaps. I want to find it. Okay. So basically, what she's laid out so far is that the disease didn't come from outside the town. It had to be from inside the town. Something is wrong with the town because it's too remote to have come from anywhere else. Okay, I see your point. Well, if the line of thinking you've just demonstrated was sincere, I'd be willing to agree with you.
We weren't given too much time, now were we?
So there's a faulty detail in this mechanism of ours. We only need to find it. Where do we start? What would you suggest? The wells, the abattoir, or the polyhedron? I don't know that they want me to say polyhedron. I feel like when they say particular well, they're talking the one by Vlad the Younger. And if there is a poison in the town, the Olgimskis would be it. But I don't think... I don't know that it's reasonable to say that it's the wells that are the problem. I also want to say abattoir because it was shut down. But the plague still spread in the town, and it could be because butchers got out. Which would mean that the Olgimskis were trying to save the town by sacrificing their workforce. The abattoir. I suspect this is where it all began. The abattoir hypothesis is already being worked on by someone else, a person who had somehow managed to infiltrate the place even before my arrival. You can try to follow in his steps, of course, that would make a lot of sense, but I wouldn't be in any hurry to do so if I were you. Who knows what danger lies inside? She's gotta be talking about Artemy. At least the Olgimskis will stop getting in my way. Are you interested in the abattoir because you believe that the pest might have been brought to the town by cattle? I don't think cattle specifically. Although that makes more sense as I'm breaking it down. If I'm treating it like a regular disease, and this is just a test on what we know about the disease, we know the sand pest started spreading, or at least was first observed by Isidore in the steppe. But most of the workforce is in the steppe as well, so whether it started in the steppe or started in the abattoir and then was brought to the steppe, both are possible. Paraglaya, the disease came from inside the town, and the disease exists to destroy something unnatural. According to the townspeople, cutting bodies is a crime against nature. That's all correct. I guess I don't like the way he says suspect the butchers. That I don't think it's their fault, but something to do with what they're doing seems correct. Their line of trade has something to do with the soil. I think they may be doing some digging. According to your notes, the disease might have sprung from below the ground, am I correct? Indeed, just like the previous plague epidemic, that epidemiological hazard appeared in the south during coal mining. The climate was comparable to the local one too, by the way. Have you already checked water, specifically river water? I investigated the water hypothesis already, yes. Those frightened Luddites even destroyed the town water intake, which led to a malfunction in the town's water supply system. We found ourselves in a world of trouble because of that. How about we check this hypothesis thoroughly, though? Before we get on with inspecting buildings, we need to make sure the disease was not waterborne. Wells, springs, the river, or maybe a young new stream. Anything. Really pushing me, right? Like she has a conclusion she's trying to drive me towards, and that makes me want to resist. But like basically I want to resist her pushing me towards the water supplies, but I don't think the disease came from the outside. It feels much more likely that it came from the ground. Which a well would get into. So this would be how I check the ground. So I don't think it's a case of a cow disease having sprung to us. Ooh, I don't like the way she's pushing me, but we'll check the young Vlad's well. Young Vlad Olgimsky has a rather peculiar hobby. I've been told he's looking for old cultural layers, the remnants of an ancient culture or something. I've also been told he's looking for oil. Neither explanation sounds convincing. What kind of person is he? Daniel, no. Daniel, no. A trustworthy kind, I think. Is this the reason why you two have managed to get on until now without breaching the subject of the well? I have other things to do. Investigate this further. Ask him. If he refuses to talk, well, there are a number of ways to inspire social interaction. And no, I'm obviously not implying torture. It just may so happen that he suddenly gets in the mood to explain everything to you. May need a fair hearing to justify his actions. Do you understand? You seem to know something already. Conjecture. Pure conjecture and nothing but conjecture. I do not believe you. The Olgimsky's closet can barely hold a gigantic skeleton, and I can't really say I even care as to who put it there. And here's what I'm thinking. What if this skeleton's made such a ruckus falling out to cover for another one? But don't lose sleep over this one yet. Okay, this is our main quest. Yes, mineral origin. Yes, this I agree with. Okay. Eat. Just barely holding on with the food we have. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna go to Artemy first. Just get that squared away. I don't believe for a second that Aglaya is just guessing. The way she was pushing me into looking into a well feels very certain that she knows something real. It just isn't sharing with the class. One empty bottle. Absolutely worth it. Yeah, she knows something or wants something about. 100% agree. Selling a bunch of extra lockpicks for inventory space mostly, but also coin. Oh. Sabarov's sick. I just got a letter. Yep. Sabarov is sick. I just got a letter from Ian, who's the woman who is in the Stillwater now. It says, strange guests are walking all around your house. I am uneasy around them. Please come back soon. Don't like the way she said your house. Artemis, are you still over here? Yes.
What?
I've checked the blood. Whose blood is it, Barak? It's not human. The result, Oinon? You know I can't tell you. I'm bound by a word given, and I thought that was something you respected. In short, yes, it does produce two types of antibodies. One stops the horned bacteria from propagating, the other one kills them. We've got a unicum here. And you're free to go and test my makeshift panacea on someone. It should work. How much this potion can be made? Not much for now. 10, 15 doses. Save it, Oinon. Have you tested it? My word be my bond. It should be effective. We have a panacea. It's not harmful, completely eradicates the infection. That crafty Burrock, no rest for the wicked. I wonder where he found a monster like this. Never saw blood of this kind before. Is this the main ingredient for his panacea? Well, I do absolutely trust him that it works. It's just to try it on someone. I should give it to Ruben. Give the panacea to Ruben. Ruben's not one of my bound, right? No. Okay. Give a panacea to Ruben, shake down Vlad about his well. Go back to the still water. To see what's bothering Ian. That seems extremely low priority right now. I'm gonna duck to this clothing store real quick. Hey, you got anything new? No? That's fine. Sell a little junk. Gotta keep managing my inventory. A little coin here and there doesn't hurt. Obnoxious. Honestly, it's a little weird that Ruben isn't one of my bound, given how much we've worked together. And by work together, I mean he basically did everything. I did not develop a vaccine, he did. I just procured a heart. And even that was mostly Burrock's doing. There we go, 1 revolver ammo. I mean, Danielle learning humility is definitely how I'm starting to read what's happening. Starting to need to decide which gun I want ammo for. Top of the town hall to despawn a rat. Ow. Ow. Taking 2 hits is probably not worth it. There was a burglar in there ready to go for me. I was just trying to dodge a rat. Alright. Gotta go further this way to get to Reuben. Still get nothing for Big Lab.
Lucky people are bad hands at correcting their faults. They always believe that they're right when fortune backs up their vice or folly.
Definitely still nothing from him. Right, we went through this way before. This is all blocked off. I gotta go around this way. I don't know if Daniel will learn humility, but I do think it's pretty clear, at least to me, how little Daniel has actually done and his true efforts all failed. Like, his attempt at getting a heart was hiring butchers to go do it for him, and he got all of them killed. That's been Daniel's run. Okay, we're gonna do a hard save here in case I need to come back and this was a mistake. I have a panacea. Let me in. I'll cure them. Give it to me. It is I who brings them back. Take it. Reuben does not appear to be in here at the moment, but the Executor is gone now. So I don't actually know if that worked or not. Might have just given away my one panacea. That's why we saved right beforehand. Because maybe all of that was a bad idea. Alright, we're gonna check in on Vlad the Younger, and then we'll call it for the stream today. this was empty. What just... You filled your well?
Changeling knows something. Or she was promised something.
Why did you fill your well up with earth? Can I please just refuse to answer that question? If I'm not mistaken, since yesterday, you're no longer authorized envoy of the powers that be in the town. You can, but then Aglaya will do the asking. I can go get her. This is very accusatory, but just tell me. It's actually rather bizarre that she hasn't done that so far. She doesn't know about the Tagler. Of course she does. An Inquisitor is by definition a person who knows everything. I'm waiting for the detailed story. What are you trying to dig up? And more importantly, what have you dug up already? Tough luck, Doctor. I don't trust you. My confession wouldn't be of any use to you, but it could raise too much noise. You'll draw all the wrong conclusions. The consequences could be tragic, especially if the Inquisitor and the Commander get involved. I will find a way to loosen your tongue. Aspity is an old enemy of the Olginskis. Daniel wants to go to Aspity for help to get Vlad the Younger to talk to me. Okay. That's where we will end this. Thank you all for watching. I hear whispering. We'll wrap the stream there, so that'll be that. We'll be back next week, and we'll finish off the rest of this day. Where are we? Just about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so we're almost... I feel like we're almost done. Maybe there's many more steps. I don't know what it is about the people in the Stillwater. He's very lucky he filled up his wall, because I will throw him down it. That's where I am with the Olginskis right now. Okay. Thank you for watching. You all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will see you next week. Bye.